Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy and a pleasure to be out here this morning, out in nature, and feeling so good seeing the rising of the sun. And I've just finished doing my meditation because each time when I come to this place, I come very, very early in the morning, sometimes before 6, and then I do my meditation, and then from my meditation, then I bring this message of self-realization to you. Now, this morning I want to speak to you on a very important topic, and I want to speak to you on the topic of death, and basically what is death. Because when we look around today in the world, we see that there are many, many, many people who are very religious and who believe that when they die, they're going to go to a special place called heaven, yet they are afraid to die. Now, what is the reason why they are afraid to die? The reason why they're afraid to die is because they interpret the Bible as though the Bible is literal and as though the Bible is secular history. Therefore, they never discover that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. So in they not knowing that the entire story of the Bible is a psychological drama, they also would not know that they are actually a spirit having a human experience, and that they are the expression of the invisible, and that God is their own human imagination, which is the creator in man. Therefore, man is the house or the temple in which God resides. So death is when God leaves this house. So everyone is God in flesh, and it can be God asleep or God awake. That's the reason when the Bible speaks of Jesus Christ, it is speaking of an awakened one. So Jesus Christ is actually the man or woman in whom God awake. So my brother and my sisters, death is an expansion of life, because you can never die if you never live. So the reason why you're living is so that you can experience death. You can experience a transformation. You can experience a metamorphosis. It's like moving from a caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. It is you going back to the source. Therefore, when you come to realize who you are and why you are here, even the Bible tells you that you will say, "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?" Which means that you will overcome fear. So death is the ultimate test, or the ultimate lesson that we must face and must overcome. And when we overcome that by knowing who we are, then we will have conquered death, which means we are not afraid. We know that we have an exit, we have an entrance, and an exit. Therefore, we come to understand that a birth is a death, and a death is a birth. So there's no difference in a birth, a child being born, and a person being dead. It is just the spirit leaving the body, because everything has a gestation period. Everything has a time and a season, so everything works by laws. So all the religious people trying to escape death and believe that one of these days they're going to rapture. And they're not going to see death. And they're just going to change from mortality to immortality. It is because they're interpreting the Bible as literal and as secular history. But when you understand that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically, and you have the experience inwardly, then you will understand what it means to be raptured. You will understand what it means to be changed from mortal to immortality. And I would have had that experience when I awake within myself and burst my crown chakra and came out in another form, in form of spirit. So I can tell you that I am a spirit having a human experience. I became invisible. I became one with the wind. So we are invisible beings being expressed in a visible body. That's the reason why God is our own human imagination, which is the creator in man. Man is the house. That's the reason why the Bible tells us God breathed the breath of life into man. When you say God breathed the breath of life into man, it is not saying that there's a God that is existing outside of you. It is showing you that the life in you, which is the breath in you, took a place of residence. Or in other words, God reproduced himself. Or energy changing form. Because energy cannot be destroyed and cannot be created. So my brother, my sisters, when I say God and I say he, I'm not speaking about a man in the sky. I'm speaking about the invisible substance from which everything comes from. And the only way you can prove that that invisible substance from which everything comes from is the very life in you, is to use your imagination to create your reality and prove for yourself that your thoughts is what is creating your reality and that you can create your reality consciously. So if you never understand life, you will never understand death. So when you eat from the tree of life, then you would understand what is death. And you would not fear death. Because you would know your true identity. You would know that the journey of life is from humanity to divinity. You would know that God is eternal. You come to realize that there's nothing you can do to have eternal life. You're already eternal. You're an eternal being. You're just having this human experience because you would wake from this dream of life. I would have awakened from this dream of life, so I can tell you that it's a dream. So the Creator is having this dream as I and as you. And we are all I. Because each and every one have to say I am. And I am is the name of God from generation to generation. It's your memorial. So my brother and my sister, we have to learn to embrace death. Knowing that we are here for a purpose and we have to make the best out of life and see how much we can produce value to humanity and help to uplift humanity and bring hope and positivity to all of humanity. And when we do that, we would know that we're not leaving an unfinished work. We know that we have come here to do a job and we have done the job. We all have come here for a purpose. And we are all connected. Therefore, we are here to uplift each other. We are here to build each other. We need each other. We depend upon each other. That's the reason why there's one universal consciousness. So we all have to face death. We all must face death. Because if he doesn't face death, you would never face a resurrection. That's the reason why, my brother and my sisters, when you discover the highest version of yourself, having awakened within yourself, and having come into true awakening or true enlightenment, you will realize that you will have experienced the death, burial, and resurrection. And you are here to tell the story. And so you come to realize that the written word is the living word. And you are the living word interpreting the written word and showing that there is no one who can ascend unless they first descend. And this is in St. John chapter 3. So God descended into generation and must ascend into regeneration. So my brother and my sisters, do not be afraid of death. Embrace death. Know that death is just a transformation. It's just an expansion of life. It's just a metamorphosis. It's part of the play. It's part of the drama. And that is what makes life worth living in the best way that we can live. So we can leave a legacy. That's the reason why, my brother and my sisters, when you leave a legacy, it's like you become, it's like you're immortalized. So generation after generation can come and they can learn of the legacy that you leave. So my brother and my sisters, do not let religion fool you by scaring you and make you afraid of facing reality. Because life and death is reality. And it all have to do with your identity. It all have to do with who you are and why you are here, where you come from, and where you're going back to. So my brother and my sisters, enjoy the journey. Because at the end of the day, we are eternal. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I want to thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm encouraging you to subscribe or like, comment, and share this message of self-realization. And I'm encouraging you also to follow me on Instagram at BlackMadGuru, and to also to check out my new website, BlackMadGuru.com. I'll be delighted if you would do that. So at this point in time, I just want to thank you. And I really want to say thank you to all those who've been really supporting in whatever way that they have been supporting. I'm quite grateful. Now, this message I bring to you is the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says, if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And I would have had the experience and know that God is light. That's the reason why I always give you the symbol of the single eye, letting you know that when you have the experience, you come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life, and that the sun parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And the Bible tells you that the sun, that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And it also tells you that the sun, as in the S-U-N of righteousness, shall arise in you with healing in his wings. So my brothers and my sisters, I'm saying to you, use your mind power, which is your solar power, to achieve your every desire. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all. I'm out, and learn to embrace life and embrace death.